Hey, Vlog Nation. Okay. They can't see me. Okay. Then what goes in the blank parentheses?
The x plus 3.
The x plus 3.
Mr. Bennett, I'm going to go funny for you to do the face cam. You can do a face reveal.
That sounds great. Yeah. Definitely will. Okay. Then what do we do? What's our next step?
You
Distribute. Okay. So we're going to take the term in front, multiply it to both. X times x will be x squared. Okay. X times 3 will be a 3x. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing with the 2. So 2 times x will be 2x, and 2 times 3 will be 6. Okay. Now your last step is just to combine like terms. Like terms are same variable and same number of exponents. Okay. So there's nothing to combine with the x squared. You can combine the two x's together. So 3x plus 2x will be 5x plus 6. Just set up my desk drummer. Thank you. That is the answer. Okay.
close enough.
Now, after right before we go to Thanksgiving break, I will be able to show you, or I will be able to show you. I can show you right now, but you will be able to check your work right here by undoing it using factoring. And we're going to kind of start that process today. It's super fun. You're going to love it. It's my favorite part of the curriculum. So, curriculum. Okay, letter B. I'll go ahead and do vertical method since a couple people use that.
Spanish text next week.
Sí se puede. Okay, vertical method. Okay, you have to start with the ones place, okay, if you will. So we're going to go with 1 times negative 5, be negative 5. Do 1 times x will be x. Then we're going to move to this x. In order to do that, we have to have a placeholder. Okay, so we'll go x times negative 5, will be negative 5x. And we'll do x times x, which is x squared. Yes. There are certain things in this curriculum where I'll make you show me both ways. On something like this, no, I don't care what you use. Yeah, that's a good question. So after you add them together, you have negative 5, then x minus negative 5, be negative 4x, and then x squared coming down. So there's your final answer. Scroll up a little bit. There you go. X squared minus 4x minus 5. Okay? Any questions? Cool beans. So, what's that? Yeah, 1x minus 5. Yes. Absolutely.
Do you do it in this way?
Horizontal? Like just show you what it'll look like real quick?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? If you just want to see the horizontal method real quick, I'm not going to talk through it, but I will just put it up here real quick. There you go.
Whoa.
Okay. Squiggly lines. Okay, I'm going to show you FOIL method real quick. So we'll just do a couple of these. I don't want to spend too long on this because I do want to move to the stuff that we have today. I'm actually going to teach you 2 lessons today, but they won't take long. But Well, they won't take long individually, but they will take a little while. So, FOIL method. FOIL, just in case you're unclear, is spelled FOIL. Okay, it stands for first, outside. An octanomial would be a polynomial with 8 terms. I'm not sure that they actually call it an octanomial. I'd have to look, but
What's a tenomial?
a tenomial
How would you call it?
might be a dinomial.
Die?
I said maybe, yeah. Not sure. Or a decanomial. Yeah. Okay. FOIL stands for first, outside, inside. So what do we think the L is? Context clues. Last. Okay. First, outside, inside, last is FOIL. Okay. So let me show you what that looks like. Let's say we've got x plus 3 and then x. We'll just do minus 2. Okay, so FOIL just tells you the order that you multiply terms together. Okay, it's talking about the location of the terms that you're multiplying together within their parentheses. So the first terms in each parentheses are going to be the x and the x. Okay, so with FOIL, you take these and you multiply the first together. That's x squared. Okay, the outsides. What do we think? What do we think would be the 2 outside terms? Those are going to be the last terms, actually. So we're thinking in relation to their individual parentheses. Okay, the outsides are going to be x and negative 2. The first x, the last negative 2. So those are the terms on the outside. Okay, they're just kind of like bookending. So x times negative 2 would be negative 2x. Okay, the insides are going to be the ones closest together. So you do plus 3x for 3 times x. And then the last ones, okay, are going to be the 2 last numbers. So we'd have 3 times negative 2, which would be negative 6. Okay, so when they were teaching this to us, when I say us, I mean my cohorts, they always told us to make these lines, okay, just to help you keep track of what you've done. So that would be first, outside, inside, and last. Okay, and once you draw those and you make sure that you've got lines touching to all the terms, then you're good. Okay, now then your last step would just be to combine like terms. So you'd have x squared minus x, plus x minus 6. Okay, so just real quick, I would like for you to try a FOIL method. So let's do x plus 2 times x plus 5. Now again, I'm not going to dictate which ones you use when you're actually doing your homework or you're doing quizzes or tests or whatever, but for right now, please attempt to use the FOIL method, okay? First, outside, inside, last. Okay, here's how it should look. We're going to go first. X times x will be x squared. We'll go outsides, which will be the x and the 5, which will be 5x. We'll go insides, which will be the 2 and the x. And then we'll go lasts, which will be the 2 and the 5. Okay, plus 10. Then you'll just combine like terms. You have x squared plus 7x plus 10. OMG. If you find the FOIL method useful and simpler than horizontal and vertical, that's great. This might be a good lesson to you in like you don't always have to reinvent the wheel, because they didn't teach horizontal and vertical when I was y'all's age, but those are the main things they teach now. FOIL method is not even in our curriculum, so they're reinventing the wheel. Everybody wants to be the smartest person in the room, so I'll pretend I didn't say all that on my recording. So, all right, that's all right. If the state of Oklahoma comes after me, then you'll know where I went. Okay, you're gonna protest for me.
I'll make my sign right now.
Maybe let's focus on the math right now, Yinny.
What can I say?
Okay, we are moving to binomial patterns. Yep.
I made your sign.
That was so quick. I can tell that a lot of thought and care went into the design. Free Mr. Bennett.
No, you missed the part.
Hashtag free Mr. Bennett. Okay, so binomial patterns. Okay, I don't like to use these, but I'll show it to you just because they have it here. Okay, they teach this using a binomial pattern square. Okay, which will look something like this. Okay, and really what we're talking about is if we have a plus b squared. Okay, we're just trying to teach the pattern on what that'll end up looking like so that you don't actually have to expand it out and then multiply it using horizontal, vertical, or FOIL. Okay, and the way that they do this using the pattern square, is that they're going to put both. So like a plus b squared. Okay, hopefully we would recognize that this squared means it's going to be a plus b times a plus b. So this is the same thing, just without the exponent. Okay, these are the same thing. We're talking about the same thing right here. So what they do with the pattern square, okay, is they put each polynomial on one side, so one on top and one on the side. Okay, and then you're just kind of doing some cross-referencing. And y'all have used boxes like this before in the past, I'm sure. Okay, yeah, you should draw this. You should draw this just so you have it. Sorry. So you've got a times a. Okay, basically you're multiplying the things that meet in the same box. Okay, so I've got a times a. It would be a squared in this first box right here. Okay, then if I keep going down, I've got a times b in this box. Okay, then if I bump over to the b, I have a times b in that box, and then what's going to be in that bottom right hand box? B squared. Okay. Yes. What if I told you Punnett square is just the science version of a binomial pattern square? I just made it up. I don't know if that's true. I'm just asking. Okay.
Bring this period.
No. Okay, so then at this point, you're just combining. Okay, you'd have a squared plus AB plus AB plus B squared. Okay? I just wrote down one thing.
Okay. Oh, wait, don't move. One second. Give me a second.
Well,
That's how the government works. You do it so fast.
really. And see, I feel like I move like at a snail's pace.
Yeah, you're a lot slower.
Thank you. Okay, so you have to combine like terms. When you combine like terms, you again have to make sure they have the same variables. They have the same variables, right? Right, guys? Right? Thank you. And the same exponents, okay? So a squared will not combine with anything, but these two ABs will, because they're the same variable with the same exponents. So it will be what? I would like for you to discuss with somebody you're sitting next to. Will it be AB squared or will it be 2AB? Will it be AB squared or 2AB?
Sure.
Okay. We've stopped discussing, so it seems like we're very convicted in our response. So let me float back up here. Whenever we took, listen please, whenever we took negative 2x and added it to a 3x, did we get x squared? No. So what if I change this variable to AB? Would we have AB squared? Okay. So why are we feeling like we should have AB squared right here? When we're adding 1AB to 1AB, now we have 2AB. Okay? You can't change exponent numbers when you're adding, only when you're multiplying. Okay? When you're multiplying, exponent numbers add together. Okay? But when you are adding terms together, the term has to stay the same. The only thing that changes is the coefficient. Plus b squared. Okay, so let me show you the pattern right here. Okay, I'm erasing this part just so I can make it more clear what we want to look at. This binomial pattern right here means that if you have a binomial that's squared, if there's an addition sign right here, both of these will be addition. Okay? The first term will be squared right here. The second term will be squared right here. And those terms put together with a 2 in front, okay, will go right there. Okay? Every time. So, yes.
Whoa.
You don't have to ask permission to take my notes, for the record. Okay, so let me show you what that'll look like. Let's say we have x plus 3 squared. Okay, now you are learning, this is kind of your fourth method on how to solve these, okay? Because you can use horizontal on this. You could use vertical, you could use FOIL, okay? But if they're giving you a squared, a polynomial squared or a binomial squared, this pattern will work, okay? So try and just use the pattern that we learned right here. Listen, please. Try and use that form right there, the a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, and translate it to this problem right here. So we got to think about, we're kind of substituting in values now. Okay, so which term in letter A is going to be A? So I'm talking about this A. It'll be the X, right? And what's going to be the B? 3. So without even having to do any sort of horizontal, vertical, or FOIL, I can say, okay, so this is going to be x squared plus, because I see the plus sign right there. Now, what's my a and b put together? Push them together. 3x. But what comes in front of it? A 2. Okay? And then the last term, what's b? 3, so it'll be 3 squared, which is, we'll figure it out in a second. So this is your kind of first line right here. And now we just have to simplify. Okay? So I've got x squared plus, what's 2 times 3x? 6x. And what's 3 squared? 9. That was really 4 inches, Petra.
Like 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thank you.
Brian, you're a treat.
I am.
Okay. I would like for you to try one on your own.
Bless you. Mr. Bennett, this is perfectly on my page. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So nobody else will.
Okay, please try letter B.
Number B.
Please try number B.
Mr. Bennett, when's your birthday?
September.
It was already your birthday.
Yeah.
September what?
September 25th.
That's my mom's birthday. OMG. I love my mom.
What year was she born?
1984.
Okay.
It's my mom's.
My mom was born in 1954. Wow, thanks, Brian. I'm going to tell her I told my students what year she was born, and they go, oh. Brian, speculate on age while you're doing this problem, please.
You didn't hear that, Mr. Bennett.
Hear what? The collapse of Rome?
Yeah, like on Pompeii.
Wow.
Yeah, Mr.
He
Olympic.
is. I wouldn't be surprised though. That'd be embarrassing for him.
You did great acting.
Something like that. Nine, that's not what it's called. It's 9 right?
I thought it was called Night at the Museum.
I know. I'm pretty sure you're not. It's not. But it's
Isn't it that one movie where the stuff comes alive at night? And then there's like few
when
monkeys.
everything comes alive. Yeah, he's spending the night at no. He's
I think I did it.
Of course he does. No, it's night of the museum.
It's night at.
No, night at the museum.
Yeah.
That's not what it is called. Live no, I don't.
What's that?
It says it right there.
They had the message on screen.
Over the side. No, I don't know.
You got the message on screen. Over here.
It's all about physics. It's all about the prism that you have to look through.
My brother has that.
I have a
So if
privacy
you look at it
thing.
from an angle,
It's
the
not cracked up.
prism is at a certain depth that you can't see.
Exactly, my brother has that.
Okay, let's look at this.
You have the magic drawing screen for a second?
The what?
The magic drawing screen for a second?
Say yes.
Yes. Okay. The pattern. This is A. This is B. So it should come out to x squared plus 2 times 2x plus 2 squared. Okay? And then when you simplify it out, you'll have x squared
I did it.
plus 4x
I did it.
plus 4. Now, this method, guys, only works when. I'm glad I asked. This method, when the question's like that, when it is a binomial squared. It's the only time this works. You have to have this. Okay?
What's this?
If don't write this, but for instance, like if we were doing another problem and I gave you x plus 2 and then x minus 3, you obviously would not be able to use this pattern skill, okay? The pattern is only for the squared binomials, okay? Let me do another one. So we just went over a plus b squared, okay? We also need to make sure that we talk about a minus b squared. You get to do this, yes. There's plenty of kids all over the world that would give anything to get to go to free public education. So it's more about perspective. When you put it that way, it makes it sound like we should be really appreciative that you're doing this. When you go, I'm really appreciative. With your Angelica shirt, it makes me feel like maybe I'm actually just getting a bunch of attitude. That's good. Brian. Guys, hey. Big news.
You're pregnant.
Brian weighs over 100 pounds now. That's good. So he no longer has to be concerned about giant gusts of wind carrying him away. Okay, so let's go over a minus b squared. Okay, the only thing that changes is the sign pattern. Okay, we have a sign difference. Okay, so what that's going to look like.
I'm being bullied.
You are being bullied?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's not very proactive, Mr. Ben.
What do you mean?
You just said, "Oh," to me being bullied.
Oh.
I feel so protected.
Okay, so the pattern square, okay, sets up the same way, but except for the b. Okay, the b needs to have a negative in front of it, so we'd still have a to a is a squared. We'd have a to negative b. It's going to be negative ab. Okay, we'd have negative ab on this far right square, okay, at the top, and then the bottom right. What would we have? Just b squared. Negative times the negative.
No, my mom told me that because I was struggling with my homework last year. Did I cry?
Okay, so
Aren't I so smart? I have a feeling sometimes I feel like you were like,
No, porque él dijo.
y'all are the best students I've ever had. So not this class specifically, but just Bella.
Mr. Bennett, you said we were your favorite class.
Don't tell everybody. Okay. So no, I'm just kidding. I tell everybody.
see, that is a lie.
That's not true. You ask any class, and you ask any of my classes when they've asked me who my favorite class is. The discussion is, well, Yinny's trying to ruin it now, but it was B1. B1. Why not y'all? Y'all are.
You just said that you tell that to every class.
No, I said I tell every class that y'all are my favorite. Ask them, yeah.
Mr. Bennett, isn't my square so cute?
And B2 is my least favorite.
It's on video.
It's
on video.
There've been, well, for those of you that have actually ever watched my videos, y'all have heard this conversation happen. So, all right, I need to keep teaching. So, it's a really good quadrilateral. Okay, so the pattern ends up the same. The only thing that's different is the first sign that you see. Okay, so the first sign that you see is going to be a negative. Okay, so the pattern will go to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So let's say we have x plus 3. Nope. X minus 3 squared. Okay, x minus 3 squared will go to x squared minus 2 times 3x plus negative 3 squared. This is algebra. We will learn one more after this.
How long is that one? This one is like half class.
We've done a lot so far, so yeah. That's a great idea. You got a 24-hour brain break yesterday. So.
No, I know, but like actually I didn't because I was doing work the whole day.
Exactly.
Me too. I was cleaning the house, being a good housewife.
I do know because I babysat all day.
I cleaned the house and I'm a good housewife and I cooked. When my mom wasn't here and I didn't burn down the house. I made ramen.
That's tough.
I know where you live, Mr. Bennett.
Creepy.
It's not creepy. I know where you live. Break out your window at night. I know where Lisette lives.
You're gonna come into my backyard and throw a brick through the window?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a brick through the window.
Okay. All right. This is, guys.
Did you hear Benton?
What?
Wait, what did we say? Something about killing a baby.
Oh dear. Okay. Now there are some more examples that we need to go over, so let's go over them. Okay, so let's say we have
I'm stressing out, man.
3x plus 4 squared. Oh yeah, I just started another one. Let me see. Thank you.
What is that?
Doesn't really matter. Okay, then let's do letter D as 2xy minus, or 2x minus 3y squared. Okay, I would like for you to try either on your own or with someone you're sitting next to, both C and D. Okay, I'll give you just a couple minutes. Follow the pattern. Use the pattern square if it helps. Okay, how would you use the pattern square on ones that actually have number value?
That's a good question. You do. Oh, that's cute.
So what Zoe was saying is to substitute out the A and the B, okay, for the numbers that you actually have, okay. So you put 3x in the big box and 4 on the outsides, okay, and then you could just multiply them together. So what's 3 times 3? 9, and then x times x is x squared. So you'd have 9x squared. Okay, then you'd have 3x times 4 would be 12x. And 3x times 4 is 12x. And then the last box in the bottom right, you'd have 4 times 4, which is 16. Okay, so then you'd have 9x squared plus 12x plus 12x. I just wanted to show you. And then you can solve D. You'd combine like terms, so you'd have 9x squared plus 24x plus 16. Okay. Letter D. Ooh. I'm gonna.
Bless you. Bless you. Ryan.
It's a quarter. Yeah, it's because I'm ... statements are a quarter. Yeah. Sorry. You can thank Hector PR for starting that last year.
Oh my god. I'm gonna call him.
He knows. He probably still owes me like 6 quarters. Okay. Did we do letter D? Good. Let's check it. Yeah.
What if I said it's because I'm Caucasian? Would I still
How is that different?
That's 2 quarters.
Why you got a whole crew?
There is no difference.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just that the second one sounds more
PC.
educated.
Sure. More educated. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Brian.
What would it be? X, Y? Okay.
Just like in the original like standard form where it has A and B, you'd have A, B for the good.
Smart right now.
So proud, Yenny.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I'm being bullied.
Jabron, are you bullying her?
Yeah.
He said no.
I'm gonna lose my marble.
All right.
Oh, gee.
2x is A. 3y is B. So 2x squared is going to be 4x squared. Then we will have minus 2 times 6xy plus negative 3y squared.
Whoa, man.
Okay, that would be the first line. And again, if you like using the pattern square, use it. As long as you can fill it out correctly, it kind of does the work for you. So then you're just combining like terms. Okay, 4x squared minus 12xy plus 9y squared. Man, I'm so excited to get to factor these with y'all. It's going to be so great. It's giving me life. I am being serious. This is my actual, like, we're getting into my actual favorite stuff. Yeah.
Do you have favorites in math?
Well, technically, you have favorites in everything, even if they kind of suck.
Even students?
Yeah.
It's not Jabron.
Just wait till the end of the year, and I'll give my favorite student of the year award.
It's gonna be someone in geometry. Geometry sounds lame. Except Marley. Except Olivia. Honestly, oh no, Mr. Bennett.
Okay. We can squiggly line this, and we're going to get into our last stuff. This last stuff won't take very long. I just want to introduce you to it.
I really hope this camera's in here. Are there cameras in here?
In the classroom, I'm not really allowed to do that. Student privacy and teacher privacy.
Mr. Bennett, is that a gun behind you?
What?
Is that a gun behind you on your desk?
Yes. It's a water gun. Okay. Let's come back together, guys. We have a little bit left we need to do. Okay. So we have standard form.
Standard. I'm gonna yell at Ryan.
Love y'all, but I need you to stop talking to each other and pay attention, please. Okay.
And bullying.
I'm not so worried about the bullying part, but okay. Standard form versus factored form. Okay. So if we have, let's say we have x squared plus 2x. Okay. This is a binomial that you were given. Okay. That one is in standard form. Okay. The factored form of that, I will show you in just a second. Let's say we also have x squared plus 5x minus 24. So what we're getting into is what I was talking about earlier. Okay. Factoring is kind of doing the process that we're doing, but doing it backwards. So instead of you being given two binomials that you have to multiply together, you're given one singular polynomial and you have to factor it out into the two separate ones that we were starting with this week and last week. So what that looks like is just about factoring out for certain things, especially binomials, it's about factoring out common factors. Okay, so really you're just going to look at these two terms, x squared and 2x. What do they share? An x. So if I divide out an x, what would that leave me inside the parentheses? So let's say I divide the first term, x squared, by x. Okay, what would I get? An x. Okay, and if I factored out an x out of 2x, what would happen to those x's? They'd cancel out and I'd be left with 2. So the factored form of x squared plus 2x is x times x plus 2. What you were given originally when we started this unit is I gave you this and you answered with this, right? And now we're doing it backwards. Okay? Now what I'm going to show you, hold on, Brian. What I'm going to show you maybe Friday, but for sure next week, okay, is how to factor these. Okay? And they'll factor out into two separate parentheses. You'd have your x's split, and you'd have 8, so it'll be plus 8 minus 3. Okay, so next week you'll learn how to do this, the second one. Okay, through a handful of different methods, and this is where you learn really the cornerstone of methods that you need for algebra. You'll learn.
What's hospitality?
I would love it if y'all would focus on me. Thank you. You will learn how to factor using trial and error. You will factor using quadratic formula. We will use box method, and we will use some completing the square. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be going over the next few weeks before we get to Christmas break. So, yeah, let's do a practice. So, yes. So I would like for you to try factoring both of these. Who asked that, Jabron? When Brian gets back. So let's say we have x squared plus 3x. Okay, so you are factoring these. Okay, so they're in standard form. Okay, and you're going to put them in factored form. Okay, so you've got x squared plus 3x. Let's say we also have 4x squared minus 2x. Okay, try A and B. Again, you're looking for what factor, okay, or what number, what variable do both terms share, okay? In letter A, you've got x squared and 3x. What do they each share with each other? Okay, in letter B, the same question, okay? What do they share? It doesn't have to just be variables. They could share number factors as well, okay? I'll give you just a couple minutes. Once we check these, or if you feel comfortable with these, you can move on to your homework.
I'm actually gonna tell you.
Yes, you have homework because we need to practice this.
We just
Y'all really just learned it. Practicing is when you do it by yourself.
Pick it up, you can't litter.
What?
Pick it up, you can't litter.
I'll pick it up. Thank you. Just because of that, Mackenzie, you don't have to do your homework.
Yay! What? We were trying Are you serious right now?
No.
So it's okay. Oh my
I was
god.
just seeing how true
I'm so tree. I'm cold. No, that's not cold. It's starting outside. No, it's not. It's only 76. That's the same. What? Huh? What? She doesn't like my uncle's girlfriend, and I don't blame her. I don't like her.
Oh.
What? No, she wouldn't let my uncle go to my sister's house.
How come?
And I don't know, to be honest. She said it was to protect your son from COVID when they went to Six Flags like the other day. It's kind of funny. No. And then when you're in a car with my grandpa and grandma, you hear all the tea. Apparently, my uncle kicked her out because she doesn't pay bills. It was kind of funny.
Mr. Bennett, I'm losing my mind right now.
Can I help you find it?
No.
Sorry.
They have a dog. Their dog is really ugly. But
No.
You know?
All right. I'll put the solutions up here. Again, please make sure you get started on your homework after the fact. Okay, so if I'm factoring, I'd love to explain these. If I'm factoring letter A, each term shares what? A variable, right? They both share x. Okay, so I can pull an x out. Okay, now when we're factoring, mathematically speaking or operationally, we need to be thinking of division. Okay, division is what we're doing when we're pulling stuff out. So it's, can I divide both of these by the same thing? Okay, we're saying x. So if I divide x squared by x, that'll leave me with x. And if I divide 3x by x, that'll give me 3.
I got it right.
Good job.
Very proud of you.
I am very proud.
Mr. Bennett, if I get the number letter B right, I'm getting my Red Bull.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, number letter B. Okay, they share an x. What else could you divide both of those terms by? 2. Okay? Now, you can't ever have the number that you're pulling out be bigger than any of the numbers inside. Okay? So like because we have a 2 right here, we can't pull out a 4 because you can't divide 2 by 4 evenly. You'll get a number less than 1. Okay? So what you want to look for is factors. So numbers that you can divide out evenly. Okay? So I can divide 4 by 2. That gives us 2. I can divide 2 by 2. That gives us 1. So left inside, what's 4 divided by 2? 2. And what's x squared divided by x? X. Minus, what's 2x divided by 2x? 1. Now how do you check your work?
Calculator.
Actually, no.
Math way.
How do you actually check your work? You just multiply them back together. Okay, you would distribute. You should end up with the same problem that you started with. Okay? So y'all have learned how to do this frontwards and backwards now. Okay? So please go and do your homework. Good luck.
When you say good luck, it makes it look like it's hard. It might you should be able to do it. Brandon.
Well, we'll see. Oh my God.
What happened, Mr. Bennett? What's the achievement?
I'm looking at the Washington Wizards City Edition jerseys, and they're disgusting. It looks like a cotton candy machine threw up on them. Did you see that? They're playing in like a cherry blossom uniform. The Washington Wizards basketball team? The Washington Wizards basketball team? I think that's a nickname for DC. They have a lot of cherry blossoms.
No, my mom's solution is telling my friends I'm scared.
This question.
My life.